The first shots of a new kind of war were fired not with missiles, but with regulations. On a gray December morning in Brussels, the European Union declared its digital independence. It was a quiet rebellion, waged through legal documents and press conferences, but its target was clear: the unchecked power of Silicon Valley. For years, a handful of American tech giants had written the rules of the digital world. They decided what we see, what we share, and how our data is used. But Europe has decided that this era is over. The message from the Berlaymont building was unequivocal. The digital Wild West is closed. The EU has watched as its markets, its citizens, and even its democratic processes have become subjects in a vast, uncontrolled experiment run from California. This move by Brussels is an attempt to reclaim control, to assert that democratic institutions, not private corporations, should set the boundaries of our digital lives. Regulators, once seen as toothless and slow, are now brandishing legal weapons of unprecedented power. Behind the legalese and the directives lies a simple, powerful idea that technology must serve people, not the other way around. The EU is drawing a line in the digital sand. The world is watching to see who will blink first. The fines levied against giants like Google and X are not just penalties, they are statements of intent. At the heart of this digital rebellion are two landmark laws: the Digital Markets Act and the Digital Services Act. The DMA is the rulebook for the biggest players, gatekeepers whose platforms are nearly unavoidable. Its goal: ensure these giants play fair, open up closed ecosystems, and foster competition. No more favoring their own services over rivals. Think Google's search results or Apple's App Store. Messaging apps like WhatsApp must become interoperable, breaking down walled gardens. The DMA is an anti-monopoly tool for the digital age. The DSA, meanwhile, is about social responsibility, making platforms accountable for illegal content and demanding transparency in algorithms. Users gain more control, with the right to understand and opt out of profiling-based recommendations. The new mantra, "What's illegal offline is illegal online." Non-compliance comes with teeth. Fines up to 10% of global turnover for the DMA, 6% for the DSA. For tech giants, that means penalties in the billions. Together, these acts overhaul digital regulation, shifting power from Silicon Valley to democratic institutions. Brussels believes this financial firepower will finally force big tech to listen. The era of minimal liability is over. The DMA and DSA's power became real in late 2025. The European Commission hit Google with a record fine, over 4 billion euros, for manipulating search results to favor its own services. Brussels demanded not just payment, but a fundamental re-engineering of Google's algorithms. Simultaneously, X, formerly Twitter, was fined nearly 800 million euros for failing to combat disinformation and illegal content. The DSA requires robust systems to protect users and public discourse. X's staff cuts and lax moderation failed that test. The message, freedom of expression, does not mean freedom from responsibility. These landmark fines were the EU's opening salvo, showing its resolve to enforce its new digital constitution. Gatekeepers can no longer be both player and referee. The rules have truly changed. For Brussels, this isn't anti-tech or anti-American, it's about digital sovereignty. Europe has long felt like a digital colony, its infrastructure controlled by foreign firms. The goal? Reassert democratic control and protect fundamental rights, not just privacy, but market fairness. The DMA and DSA aim to make users citizens, not products, and to foster homegrown tech champions. By forcing open platforms, Brussels hopes to incubate European innovation. The vision: a digital market that's open, fair, and safe. The fines are a tool to force change and export European values globally. Washington sees the EU's actions as protectionist, targeting America's tech giants. US officials warn of a tech trade war, arguing the DMA and DSA unfairly single out Silicon Valley. The American ethos favors free markets and innovation, clashing with Europe's regulatory approach. There's real fear of a fractured internet, a splinternet, with conflicting rules. The standoff is about more than fines. It's a battle for the soul of the internet and the transatlantic alliance. The future of global digital cooperation hangs in the balance. For Europeans, the impact is tangible. Choice screens now greet users setting up devices, offering real alternatives to Google or Apple defaults. Small businesses gain a fairer shot. Amazon can't use their data to compete against them. News publishers have new leverage to negotiate with tech platforms. Users see clearer options to report illegal content and can opt out of algorithmic feeds. The result: more choice, more control, and a safer online environment. But the transition brings friction. More pop-ups, clunky interfaces, and fears of overzealous moderation. The digital landscape is shifting, with new freedoms and new challenges. Europe's grand experiment is underway. The fines against Google and X are just the beginning. Both companies are appealing, launching legal battles that could last years. Their strategy challenged the law's clarity, the Commission's authority, and the evidence itself. Google will argue its algorithms serve users. X will claim perfect moderation is impossible. Meanwhile, compliance is mandatory. Companies must redesign systems and hire compliance teams even as they fight in court. The outcome is uncertain. A loss could undermine the EU's regulatory push. A win would cement its power. Other tech giants are watching closely. They know they're next. Billions in fines and the future of digital law are at stake. The coming litigation will shape the internet's legal foundation for a generation. The storm is just beginning. The EU's regulatory push is sending shockwaves worldwide, the Brussels effect. Global companies often adopt EU standards everywhere, as with GDPR. Now, countries from Canada to Australia are eyeing the DMA and DSA as blueprints. Brussels is exporting its digital values, hoping to set a global benchmark. But the world isn't uniform. China has its own model, and the US remains skeptical. We may see a multipolar digital world, European, Chinese, and American models competing for influence. The EU's gamble is that its market power can drive global alignment. The battle for the future of tech regulation is on. We stand at a crossroads. The EU's confrontation with big tech marks the end of Silicon Valley's unchecked dominance. This is a tectonic shift, a new digital reality. The future could be more balanced, with innovation, competition, and user protection at its core. Or it could mean years of legal battles, a tech trade war, and a fragmented splinternet. The stakes are high: the shape of the internet, the fate of global alliances, and the values that govern our digital lives. The old world is gone. The EU has thrown down the gauntlet. This is about more than technology. It's about power, sovereignty, and the society we want. As of December 6, 2025, the pieces are in motion. The EU has ignited a tech rebellion. Will it lead to a digital renaissance or a digital dark age? The world is watching.